Please ask for your.
Well, I want to learn. I'm
David,
trying to
Shalom
learn.
Aleichem. How are you?
Shalom, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
Good to see you.
This Zoom is a beautiful thing.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, I can learn in Torah.
Where's your brother?
I think he's gonna come.
I was thinking to call him. I said, no, let's see if he come by himself. And
Okay.
all right. Oh, so
Okay. They could. I'm a tough Yud base. Lo Yimali Chafnav Mayim. We're learning Hilchos in Netilas Yedayim Asuda. Lo Yimali Chafnav Mayim. V'yitim Achaber Al Yadav Sheinoitman Al Menakli. You need to use a keli for Netilas Yedayim, using your hands, filling up your hands with water and pouring it over someone else's hands is not Netilas Yedayim. Hu adinim natal yadei achas min hakli, v'yachar hashafim el yadei shni yasal tila. Same thing. If you one hand you washed with your keli, and then you took the water and you poured from that hand on the other hand. It's not good. However, yesh matirim bazeh. There are some rishonim that are matter in the second case. Even shenetilas yadei rishoyin haisam hakli, nikras netilas hashniya netila mikoyach hakli. Since the first hand you washed with a keli and you poured it onto that hand, when you pour it onto the other hand, it's considered netilas yadayim from a keli.
I don't understand. You pour one keli on this hand, the water is out. So how we can pour to somebody else's hand? The water went down to the sink. He has a kli under that the water.
So two cases. The first case was that his chaver fills up his hands with water and he pours it on his hands.
Okay.
Says no good.
That's I understand.
Says not only that, the second case is also no good. Is what? You washed one hand.
With the keli.
Keli.
Yeah.
Now you have water here in the hand. Pour with water. You take water like this.
From the hand?
Yeah. You pour it on this hand. We say it's also no good. However, in this last case, yesh matirim bazeh, because they say that this hand you made tar, and then you with a keli, and then you pour water. Since originally it came from a keli, this water, it wasn't a keli. It came into this hand with a keli. Now you're putting it with this hand here, but originally it came from a keli. That's good.
But the water not become tame when it comes from the keli?
No. Now you wash this hand.
Right, I
So
understand.
now this hand is tahor. Your right hand you did twice, let's say. 2 times is tahor.
Okay.
Now you pour more water in here.
This water is not tame now? When you pour
After you washed it? No. 2 times? No.
it's not. Okay.
Now you pour water on here, and you take this water on here. This shita says fine.
Yes, material.
Yesh matir.
Okay.
And they want to say like this. When your friend does it, it also came from a keli originally. If your friend poured a keli on his hands, and then he pours on you, we still don't say it's good. Why? Because in that case, your hands never got water from the keli. Your friend got from the keli.
Right.
In this case, your right hand did get from the keli.
Okay.
Ella Mashain King Kishahavede Nasan Lebachafnav Shin Boyin Ayada Shal Zemikoyach Kli. When your friend puts it on you, you never got Mikoyach Kli. Ella Shalachavede Bowman Akli. V'chein Nog Umikedem Lahakel. They were makel with this.
Mhm. Tough Yud Bet. No tough Yud Bet. Middle Yud Gimel.
Aval Iker Kisvara Harishoina.
Finish.
V'chein Shalach Melachatchila. So,
What's the case? His friend took the water of his hand, not a shaper. With this,
so Yud Gimel says like this. You shouldn't use your hand. Someone says, oh, I don't have a keli.
oh,
So I'll go like this, and I'll take water, and I'll pour it on my chaver.
you need a
Netilas
clean.
Yedayim, need a keli. Not only that, even if you yourself, one of your hands, you were noitel,
You did already get the clay.
now you pour water on it, and you put it on the second hand. Also problematic, because you didn't do on this hand with a keli. Says the Alter Rebbe, this second case, yesh matirin bazeh. First was the Rashba, the Arishonim, which hold that this is okay.
Why? Because your first hand is already tall.
Because you yourself, you received from a keli mayim.
Right.
Your chaver received from a keli, that's no good because you had no kesha to the keli.
Right.
Your chaver poured it on you like this. But in this case, your right hand got from a keli.
Right.
So now, since you did start off with a keli, it came mikoyach a keli. You originally came, the mayim came mikoyach a keli. It's not direct. From a keli to here, from here to here. If a keli went into your chaver's hands and it came to you, you had no kesha with the keli.
Right.
Your chaver's hands in. But here, this hand did get from a keli.
Right.
It's mikoyach that hand, that keli came. So these Rishonim say it's good. Now the Rebbe says, "V'chein nagu mikedem lahakil." It was an old minik to be makel like this. You took the water from here and you put it on here.
One you did a clean, and the second one of them.
But he says that the ikir is like the Svaradi Shoina that does not help. So therefore, we find often minhagim that we have minhagim that are relying on certain opinions that are not the ikir opinion. They're not the roiv. But if that's the minig, that's the minig. The minig is soymech hadal shittis. Well, lachatchila, be machmer, not like the minig, because the ikr shita is the other way. Find this very often in Allah. Now, further, the Alter Rebbe clarifies, af hamatirin, the line starts with af hamatirin. Leitiro kashiyade reshayna hoysa tohira. Yishafa ala raviyas v'vasachas benitra. V'kabel ba'oid mayim v'shech man hashniya gamkin v'vis v'vachsach.
Another person of his that he pulled. He already wanted a base and he didn't go. More of a left than he could.
This is the Maisa Zay. We want to remind everyone, Minadin, if you put a revius, v'vasachas, on either both hands together or each hand separately, revius and revius, you don't need more.
Right.
You didn't need the Shulchan Aruch. Why don't you need more? Because the whole reason why we wash twice, Mayim Rishonim and Shniyim, because the Mayim Rishonim are takim mitar the Yedayim. But then they themselves become tamei from your Yedayim. So the Yedayim are tahir, but now the Mayim it's sitting on your Yedayim is tamei. So you wash a second time, Mayim Shniyim, to wash off that Mayim Rishonim. But if you use a Revius, you don't need to do twice. Why not? Because a Revius is like Mem Saw for a mikveh for Tefillah. When someone who's Tameh goes into a mikveh, does the mikveh become Tameh?
No.
No. It can't become Tameh. This is a mikveh. Revius for Netilas Yedayim is the same status. It can't become Tameh from the Yedayim. So when you pour a Revius over both hands together, or each hand separately a Revius, you don't need to do a second time. Why? It was Matayr the Yedayim. Not only was Matayr Yedayim, it can't become Tameh because it's a Revius. A Revius can't become Tameh. So there's no need to pour Mayim Shniyim because it never became Tameh. Yes, it's important to remember that in the Siddur, the Alter Rebbe brings that if you want to be Yoitza all the days, so the Ravid, and it's also brought in the Rashba, the Ravid, Sheetz Ravid is that even when you do a Revius, you need to do Mayim L'Shonim L'Shnim. It doesn't hold to this. It does become Tameh, even in a Revius. So therefore you should still do Mimach. And the Mishabruda points out that it seems that the Gra also held that way. That you even if you're doing a Revius, you do Mayim L'Shonim. That's why you see today that the Oilam, even though they're doing a Revius, the Oilam still does twice.
More than a release. Nobody do this service. So it's very, very little. Nobody do like this. Everybody do
Right?
See.
From a big share.
The more this is for better for us. Right.
Because the Reveit like is 40 the mikveh, the
Same status.
Same status.
Same status. And it can't become Tameh. But Minadin, by the way, Minadin, you're in a situation you don't have a lot of water. You could pour a Revius on each hand and that's
Why
it.
did they have it?
Now,
So what is it going to be about? I'm going to do it. Actually, the Mishnah is the
oh. Now,
I thought it mean that you pull one revis on the head. So now you had the stove. Then you put another revis, and with this revis, you go in and do in the other hand. The material later will actually like that to wash.
now, remember the Matirim say the first hand you wash with a kevi. Says even the Matirim were only matir when the Yadei Rishayna Hoysa Tohida was Targ in Shafach al Revisa Sachts Venitara. And now that hand, you did a full Revius, which Minadin, it's fully Tahir now. Less B'choishish for the Ravid, which that's already a Das Yochid that we're Choish to in the Siddur. Umekabel Ba, in that hand, let's say your right hand, it's now Tahir. You take Oid Mayim, you put water into it with a Keli. And you pour with your hand on your second hand. You also pour another Revius.
Not from the keli,
No.
from the hand.
You have a Revius right here.
From the hand, yeah.
Pour on here. That's what it's talking about. Oh yeah, filu. Ma'at mayim ishonim ushnim. Or even if he took some water, so it wasn't a Revius b'vasachas. But he took water, he used water Rishonim Mishnim. And Mashaf Shiv Zubazu. And he rubbed the water all over the second hand. He put that water all over the hand that it should get.
Today everybody has water. I don't think this class.
Abel Mshafach al Yishoina. Pachas Merevius. If you pour it on your first hand, less than a Revius. Nitmu Amayim Shaleh. The water on your hand now became tummy. Because remember, Mayim Yishoinim is Matar the Yedayim, but now it kufa become tummy. On your right hand now. When you're going to pour from there on your second hand, the Tamana Mayim Anishin, now you made your second hand tummy. Now you're going to rub your hands together. V'gam yad hashniya v'tames hamayim shel gabe rishayna. The yad shemeshav sheba. Shechoyz v'et hamayim shim tari shaynim in meinus kum matara mitumas v'shetz miyad rishniya. Shein hamayim shim matara mishaynim shel natlu nitzim min hayad shaf ban aleha. Lo yishit biyad acheres. The Sheretz yadu b'tumas shenagli yaf me'ah v'yachzi to l'keroi. Gam yad shniya l'shit me'ershayim ma'im shim me'ilam. But he's saying over here like this. This whole interesting case that you washed one hand with a keli, then you take the water and you can put it over here, only works when either you did a full revius on this hand,
First time.
on this hand is a full revius, or, so it's tahar, or you washed ma'im, didn't use a revius, and like you normally do, ma'im v'shayim and shniyim, on here, so it's tahar this hand. Now I take water and put it on here, so it's fine, everything's good. But what happens if I pour it only one time in this hand? So I was matayir this yad, but the water on this hand is now tummy. Now when I'm going to pour the water on this hand, I'm matama this hand, because this water is tummy. When I'm going to pour now, this hand has water that became tummy from the first hand. When you're going to rub it on this hand like this, you're going to bring that tumma
The second hand.
back to the first hand. Now, you're going to say, what's the big deal? I'm going to pour ma'im shniyim on each hand now.
Yeah, but you made only two in the other hand.
Meaning, he's just saying is, you can only do this when you did ma'im v'shayim shniyim. This hand is fully tahar, then you can put it on. Before it's fully tahar, you're going to have a problem. Because then it has tamid, one time you did it, you have tamadik water on here. Now you're putting it on this hand. Now you want to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then you do again 1, 1.
No, but I'm saying, once this hand, the water is stopped, and you touch this hand,
You made the water here, and now when you rub them, this hand puts the right. You're going to tie it to me. What do you mean? But I'm going to be putting ma'im shneim. I need to do ma'im shneim. So I'm putting ma'im shneim here, and then I'm going to rub ma'im shneim here. So what's the problem? Problem's like this. Ma'im shneim are only metayer, the water that was on this hand, that was tamei from this hand. But if the water became tamei from a different hand, and you put it on this hand,
so it's not going to
the ma'im shneim can't make it tam. It only has the koyach to make tahar the water of the ma'im yishonim from that hand.
be pure water only.
The water that was on that hand that became tamei kimitai. But once you put from here to here, it doesn't work anymore. Complicated, huh? So, what do you have to do before you go? The only eitzah is you have to dry your hands. You have to dry the hands.
Before I can review it?
Yeah, in this case, where you matama both hands, you have to dry them first. And do again Netilas Yedayim, Kiroi. Both hands you have to dry.
That's why middle Netilas Yedayim, somebody touch your hand. You messed it up.
Common, you have to do it dry and
Try it to start it.
But today, who puts from his hand water and puts in the other one?
Actually, that's what we actually do.
What?
After we do one, the last time you take, you do go like this.
No, put it in somebody else. Let us
No, no. But
But the
let's say,
thing here, if they're
let's say in a place in next to a river and it's not clean, and you want to eat. You want to take like this.
Oh,
No, you can't do. But you could do to when you have it.
yeah, that's
Like a mixture.
they can fill up pot like vinegar.
When you don't have a clean.
But oh Hashem, today the Shefa, the big Kelly. Okay. We suffer a lot years ago, and they didn't have nothing. We have everything.
You were happy
We're
with
still
them or
complaining.
You have enough water, but you still don't want to wash it. You can always put the things in it.
But when you turn on,
Sometimes open showers.
Okay.
But
So I think Rabbi Zahar is suggesting it's a complicated thing. I see we have a tough terrain ahead of us.
you want to go to Dallas?
Maybe we'll go to Yudalit. A long, long sim.
sorry.
I said, let's try. So I look at your Gimel, I said, let's try. But
Okay.
a lot of cheshbainis, and it's not so Nagel Alafit. Sifi Dalit. So this is Nagel Alafit. Sarach Shivaya Maima Yadav Min Akli, Mikoyach Nois. Not only Min Akli, now he's Moisif another tonight.
Not like a barrel.
So
It has to come Mikoyach Noisim. Veloy Me Aleim. Shekei Metzin B'mei Chatos. Shenemer Behem V'hiza Hatarat. And the Mei Chatos. Apple top Yudala, the Fichot Sinner Shadoyla Mayim and Ayoir. A pipe that they draw water from the river. The Shayif Kimbai, and they pour from it. The Nimshach Man Manamayim Mahashkasada. Irrigation. They somehow drew the water and it went through a pipe and it goes to water this field. Any Yachalitim Latoich Yadav Latoichai, Litachtov. Ishakalcha Mayin Aleyan, Ishagilahan. You could say, let me put my hands underneath the pipe, but what is going to come on top of my hands?
something with the sink.
The person who was in the beginning, so the way the sinner worked, there was no electricity. There was someone standing by pouring into the pipe. He took a bucket and he poured into the pipe. Now the long pipe, the water went along the long pipe and went to the field. Well, that's how you got to your field, the water to your field. So there was a noisin. There was a noisin, a koyach noisin. The problem is, by the time it got to you, the koyach of the noisin is long gone. The reason why it's flowing because it's flowing in the pipe. Not because the noisin gave a pour. That pour that he gave in went for a few feet. After that, it's going by itself. Shekar posak koyach hashoifich. V'meisim yadei karev l'makam hashvicha. Fourth line, Afapishin Mason Tachas Hashvicha Mamish, also Netila. Shekol's man Shamaim Kroiv and the Makam Hashvicha Adayim Mikoich Adam Hain Boyim.
Wow, we're close to the
Vava Bishat Sinner Menea Mayim, Amenea Mayim, Luspashet, and Sidde Nor, Enikli. In Kakum Shika Hilchamayim Mikoichli is another kasha. The pipe is not really a keli because it's open on both ends. So the pipe is not really a keli. You can hold water in it.
Right.
So it's not a keli. So I didn't wash my hands from a keli. It says, yeah, but it came from a keli to begin with. There was a bucket. And now you're putting your hands close to the spot. By the way, this is Negel Alofer. Because when you open the faucet, there's a koyach noisin of the water as soon as you open it. So therefore, if you don't have any keli, they say it's open and close, open and close, open and close. That's what you do to the Evid. The Gael Alofa, you don't have a keli, you're somewhere. You're traveling, you go to the rest stop, you go somewhere, you don't have a quart.
Open and close
You're in the airplane, open and close, open and close.
But in this short pipe, talking about low time, if it's a very short pipe,
Not a problem.
no problem.
No, that's what he's saying here. If it's close, it's karev to the Makam HaShvicha, there's no problem.
Right, yeah.
Siftez Vav. Im Itbil Yadav B'toy Chatziner.
Might be different over there because the guy is picking up with a keli is pouring it into this open pipe.
You're on the plane with somebody pouring it. It's okay, you say. It's coming from a reservoir 200 miles away.
In the plane, a lot of the platform is small.
They do?
Yeah.
They do, huh?
Yeah. There's more
Because what the phone guy bought it, what the
Jewish guy bought it. It's pretty cool.
the phone guy.
Rosenberg.
He was-
Oh, after he bought it, he put it on?
Yes, yeah. I was there the last time telling him.
He also lifted up the prices.
They didn't tell him. They didn't let him buy it. He's American, so he started learning in Israel. So he put it under his name. He was in my bungalow company.
This guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
was the head of Atzala, and he opened Atzala's.
What, you just Flatbush?
No,
I've said
What?
before.
What was it I say?
No.
Wow. Yeah, he's a wealthy guy.
he's
very
very
old commercial.
He's in the nursing business.
Yeah.
Like Bar Park Center.
Oh, yeah?
He's still smoking there. I love him.
Really?
He just
The billionaire.
billionaire. Exactly.
Every place that have center,
This.
center, that's here involved.
Any nursing home's
And
called
nursing
center.
home center, he's involved. And in Borough they have the rehab center, he's involved. He's a percentage he gives.
He owns the centers over here, the urgent care.
This one, part of it is.
Yes, you know him.
I called another guy away when I was working one time in the rehab on Krebs Avenue. And said years ago they sent me. So I wanted my son-in-law in Pepper Goods to buy from him. So I called him and I got to him. So tell me I'm not involved. I have somebody charge. That's his number. I called the other guy. He said I had somebody relative to me, and I said forget about it because he has a lot of nursing home. If I get him an account, it's a big account, you know.
Your son-in-law is doing wholesale.
Yeah, I buy for the show for me.
Well, yeah, which company is he working for?
Not for me, it's his company.
His company?
Prepare maintenance. He live in Israel, but he has still small van here, and he make all his business here. He work every day from 3 afternoon to 12 o'clock at night in Israel, because he's in the phone and a computer. So, with the fire, with the sender, with everything.
Baruch Hashem.
Like,
If someone sticks his hands
like,
inside the pipe, then that Torah mikoyach that you toiveled your hands in. You pay shehim shuvim. It doesn't work. Tefillah doesn't work with mayim shuvim because it came from a keli.
If not, I have water here. Man,
Well, it's
it's not that,
but it's a problem because then you have to pour. To pour. You could put your hands into a mikveh, but you can't pour.
well, mikvah river, but not okay.
what's the difference?
Because the clay has
Oh, here we have an answer for you. Amet v'anam vorim kishat oila shoyfich v'noisen teichat atzmai. When can you not put your hands in the tzinner when he was pouring with the shissel into the pipe? Avonosin oisen chutz l'tzinner ala karka umam shechoisen tzinner. First it went on the ground, and then it went into the pipe. Then you can stick your hands into the pipe. V'hitzel b'yadav tehidus. Sha'shu'uva shemshichu b'karka sheil t'yedayim shehi v'dibri seifrim af l'pois v'los kogufay shmin ha'toyda chirei mikmiksham mitshuva shemshichu. Yerdes in Aleph. Malmakim tzah shehi b'tzinim hamsa shehigdi b'toich l'mat l'akif stil samayim shenikru medus lo'izeichel k'mishel. Let me explain what's happening over here. A little bit of hilchos nekvais over here. It has to be kosher as a mikveh. You want to do tevilas yedayim, not netilas yedayim. Then it has to be in a mikveh. A mikveh needs 40 saw. A mikveh needs to be not zoichel, not sitting in one spot.
make shamim, fully sound.
That's it. That's
Well, yeah, make shamim or from the river. So, however, the din is like this. What happens about mayim shuvim? Can have make shamim, but it went inside a keli. It's called shuvim with geshepta vaser. Rishoyevet. It's possible for mikveh because it was in a keli. Mayim shuvim is possible for mikveh.
That's why there's no
He
pipe.
says over here,
They'll make it-
no, only pipes, no keli.
No clips.
Now, over here, he is using a keli, but before it went into the pipe, he poured it on, he throws it on, and it goes over like cement or the ground. Let's say a little cement canal or bricks goes on the ground, and then it goes into the pipe. So this is she'uvim. It's called she'uva, shem shichua kula. The whole mikveh that he made, it was the mikveh, it was a pipe that he's pouring in.
He went for the karka.
It didn't go directly from the keli, from the shuvim. The shuvim went on the ground, and then it went in. So there is a machlokes in Hilchas Mikvahs by the Rishonim that what happens, mayim shuvim, a whole entire mikveh that I made not by pouring directly the water into the mikveh. That's for sure possible. It's mayim shuvim, cholades. Over here, I poured it on the ground. It's called shuva shemshichua kula. If I entire mikveh comes from shuvim, but it was nimshach agabe karka, shuva shemshichua. I had amshacha agabe karka. Did the fact that it was nimshach agabe karka remove
The clip.
the shuvim?
The clip out.
Yeah, and it becomes kosher now. And when you put it into the pipe, if there's arbaim saw in there, and has it's stationary, I could stick my hands and have a mikveh. That's what he says.
Every minute.
Now, Lamaisa to Machlokes in Hilchas Mikvahs, the Rambam held that it's the Rambam brings the Rif, that the Rif held that you could do Shuba Shem Shichu Kul. The Ben Yitzchak Alfasi held that for a mikveh, the Raisa, a lady can go to such a mikveh. So we have no issues making mikvahs. Just take water, make shaman, just pour it in. Pour it on, and let it be nimshach agabe karka. It's fine. Right? So as long as it went nimshach agabe karka. Gimel tfachim. Now, however, everyone argues with him. Well, the Rishonim argue with him. So,
Make it easier for the woman.
yeah. But the Rishonim will argue with him. So, I think the Rambam writes that we never saw anyone doing this.
The ultimate was the building.
Whatever. So, make him shachal. Now, however, says the Alter Rebbe, that's for tefillas deraisa. Netilas Yedayim is the Rabbanon. We could be mekel. We're relying on that shita because it's the Rabbanon. So if you took the water attack in a pail
And put it on the karka.
and poured it on the karka and
The
then
karka.
went into the sinners
That's
or whatever it went, and now you have our boyim saw,
It's not shuvim, man.
and you can stick your hands in. It's not shuv anymore from Netilas Yedayim.
Oh, I got a question.
Men's between to do some shuffle.
So sometimes they do that. Sometimes they do that. Like, let's say, during COVID, people were doing that. And
Yeah, a lot of people building kwas and doing
the ones you build a proper mikveh, you build it properly. You're already building all mikveh, build it properly, because also people tell you, okay, in there, you know, but,
You can distort the.
and I'll tell you another reason why. We're talking about Netilas Yedayim. Toiveling men, you're right, it's the Rabbanan, it's a minig, even less than the Rabbanan. But there's two types of toiveling for men. Men toivel for keri, as a chumrah, that even though the takanas Ezra was that everyone should toivel about keri, should toivel the mikveh, but it was this battle. Ein reivat sibur yichoyin lamiba. It was this battle. However, the many are noyig to do it still because it's a chumrah to do it. The Hiddur and the Kabbalah talks about it a lot. Right? So they go to the mikveh because they're about keri. So that's a tefillah mituma l'tara. But then there are times that you're tar, you go because it's at a Shabbos, Yom Tiv. So you're going every morning, you're going for tesefes tara, additional tara levels. There are people that go to the mikveh every time before Sfiras Omer for a mitzvah. I heard that in Williamsburg, the people are going before Sfira. Before Chanukah Menorah, they go to the mikveh before Chanukah. They open up the mikvahs before Chanukah lift. They go to the mikveh again. Some people, they have a minhag. This already says in early Svarim. I think the Mate Ephraim already says, before Tekiyah Rosh Hashanah, the Baal Tekiyah runs out and goes to the mikveh.
That by Chabad also.
I don't think so.
I remember in Yeshiva Tan, in Yeshiva,
Yeah?
about the
What
care.
was it, Rosh Hashiva?
Then it's Segab. Well, now in Yeshiva in Terra 7, it's Shalom. We're all the way after Wasteman, right? Because now he's going to the wiki.
Oh. In any amounts.
Now,
About the kid, go to the mikvah before blowing shofar?
Yeah, of course.
the morning.
Yeah, morning.
In the morning or right before the shofar?
Some people I went to, and I definitely see it, but I love this when you're going back to hearing.
Before hearing. They had a break.
They had a break, we're right at the end of the day. It was right there. So it's convenient.
See? I have a Idriya.
Another question. Sometimes I go to my
So this is a Sefes Tara, adding Tara. Some want to say that even that for adding Tara, maybe you need a higher level mikveh. Even though there's no chiyuv to it at all. But who said that the mikveh that works for this is going to work as a Sefes Tara might need a real
Excellent mikvah.
But this is definitely, if a person's not able to build a proper mikveh, should definitely do this. To make Shuvah, the Ben Ish Chai, I remember seeing once a tshuva of his, he has a sefer tshuva, Shalom tshuva to Rav Palin, and he writes over there, right, your grandfather was a sheikh at him, right? So he writes there, this is how you should do it. Make it Shuvah, Shem Shichua Kula, have it all the water going over the karka. So even though it's shuvin for this tefillas, we can rely on it. That's what he said.
my grandchildren want to honor me when I go to them. He's 6 years old. So when we wash the hand, they fill up the cup and he wants to pour in my hand. So I told him, no, I don't think it's right. He says, Shabbat, I want to make a mitzvah. He wants to pour it 3 times. It's enough.
Unbelievable. Keep it up, eh?
No, I'm saying they have
Grandparents.
You know.
Very
As
nice.
far as the local one, he's no problem. If you don't problem,
By the way, even if you don't have Shuvah Shem Shichua Kula, for Tvilas Ezra, it's enough Shuvim Bekarka. Mem Sa Shuvim, not even Mishichua. Tap water, a swimming pool, for example. Not Tisha Kabbalah. Tisha Kabbalah is a lower level. But our boyim saw, if you don't have this, you do the shower.
I was a lake with a
Our
shower.
boyim saw bekarka like a swimming pool. People do it in some bungalows.
Lake with a shower this morning. Went to the pool because they don't have the toys. Because there's no mikvah.
Yeah,
So-
plenty of places do it.
About Tishmak.
Many bungalow colonies years ago when they started off. Now everyone has big bungalow colonies they built proper mikvahs and everything. But Amo years ago,
I remember in this.
it was in the beginning.
There's the mikvah.
People went to the pool.
The pool. That's
Went to the pool. For Tfilas Ezra, it's 100% good. Now, the Paiskim write in Hilchos Yom Kippur that according to the Shita that holds that the reason why we toivel Erev Yom Kippur is for Keri, Arbayim Sa Sh'uvim Bekarka is 100% fine, even without Hamshacha. Hamshacha is noch besser. Ain't Hamshacha. The Shail only is, according to the Svara that says that the reason why we toivel Erev Yom Kippur is not for Keri. We toivel Erev Yom Kippur because of Shuvah. For Gators, like we're coming like Gadim, like a tshuva. Shaila is if that will help, because Baal Keri Be'etzim doesn't need mikveh. Takanas Ezra. So what Takanas Ezra was before it was a zbatel that you should toivel. He allowed Arbayim Sa Sh'uvim Bekarka. Havalamaisa, if you were doing it for a different reason, you're doing it for Gators, for tshuva. For Yom Kippur, Lav Dafka it helps. Lav Dafka. So then it's better to go to a proper mikveh for Erev Yom Kippur. Really, it's a suffix. It's not clear if a pool would work for Erev Shabbos and Shabbos morning daily tefillah. So if you have no choice, of course you use the pool. You have a choice. Find either a mikveh that's a sh'uv bekarka. And I have to just put a sign, didn't have to toivel any kalim there. Tfilas kalim is min Torah. So you can't rely on Shuv and Shem Shichua. And now, but I want to tell you one thing. By Tfilas Minatoida, like Tfilas Noshim, we do allow Shuvim, but a miut Shuv. If you have, let's say, a mikvah in a place, California, New Mexico, Nevada, they don't have a lot of water. A lot of places struggle with rain.
Right.
So the rain, you have the mikvahs trying to fill up your mikvah. You only get 21 saw. You don't have 40 saw. What do? You're waiting. No problem. Rebiya v'hamshacha is mutter. Roiv in the mikvah is kosher. The miut, you do v'hamshacha al gabi karka. The rest of the 19 saw that you're missing, you could open up the tap water by the cement canal, which every mikvah is built with a canal of hamshacha, and the water goes in that canal, goes in. You can fill up the rest, no problem.
They do.
So that's what people do. Yeah.
Ice.
People why don't want to do it lechatchila that way? Why they want to have the 40 is only because of later on the shaila of the mixing of the water. Nasan Sav and Atal. We one time spoke here, which is a chumrah that we would want to be machmer all the shitas by Tfilas Noshim, the Ravid and the Rambam held that if that interchange. So you want to have more make shaman. So we actually try to put into the bottom bar double shear, 80 saw. Most of them are built with 80 saws underneath or on the side. Reason being not because you need 80 saw, you need 40 saw. 40. Why do you need 80? Just because the water is going to exchange back and forth, everyone's turbling, or it's up and down, or it's eventually the original rainwater is going to be missing. So minadin, it's not a problem. Open up a chaber no flakes, no problem. The Shach says, Toiv lahachmir, lachos to the opinion of the Ravid and the Rambam, that held that it is problematic. So then we have to try to have as much make shaman we could have. But if you don't have it, you go make it in. If you have 21 saw and 19 saw, they also agree it's good. Just when there's going to be exchanging the water, which is going to happen very soon. If you have 1921, you're going to lose the right. You don't have, you do it that way. That's what he mentions here in the Sefer. He says that afla poisel mitfilas kol gufay shimin atoyda. Achi roiv make shamim v'hamiut shuva shim shichua. Like it says in Yedayim Simreish Aleph, which is Halachos Mikvayis. But in this case, which is a din derabanan, Netilas Yedayim, you could do the whole thing b'hamshacha gabe karka. The whole 40 son, it's mutter.
How about two questions? When you say Ezra, Ezra and Nehemiah,
I don't know close.
or only Ezra?
Ezra and his bezdin, but it was his battle later.
Some people say
No. How
Yeah.
long it was ahead?
I don't know.
Anyone knows? But
I'm
Ezra
sure
and
we know. I don't know.
But Ezra and
Look it
Nehemiah.
up. Yeah. The whole Anshe Knesset is like that.
Right, but why they call it as Ezra? It was